In part one, I talked about the harm of European colonialism and the deeply troubling reality that many Africans still aspire to Europeanness. When I shared it on LinkedIn, someone rightly noted that Africa's exploitation predates Europe's conquest, that Persians, Greeks, Romans, Arabs also colonized and extracted from the continent. And that's true. Africa has long been shaped by complex encounters, some violent, some reciprocal. These include trade, migration, and conquest. We must not erase this history. They caused deep wounds, including enslavement and religious imperialism. But we must also be precise. European conquest was not just about invasion. It was about global domination. It was deliberate, coordinated, and industrial in its extraction. It did not merely take land, it dismantled entire ways of being. It codified anti-blackness as a global order. It turned African labor into capital, our bodies into commodities, and our identities into targets. This was not only territorial, it was epistemic. It erased indigenous knowledge and redefined African identity through the lens of inferiority. The Berlin Conference of 1884 didn't just draw borders, it rewired minds. Africa became a resource depot for global powers and was still fighting to claim full autonomy of our lands, institutions, and imagination. But here's the part we must now confront. Today, much of Africa is still governed by systems built by those who looted from us, but we're no longer colonized on paper. We're self-governed, and yet far too often, we're still not free. Why? Because too many of our leaders are still playing by colonial rules. Too many still pander to former colonial powers for loans, trade deals, and validation. We own the resources that power the world: cobalt, lithium, cocoa, oil, and yet we negotiate like beggars. The more urgent question is, why do we still cooperate in our own extraction? It's not just corruption. It's a failure of imagination, a failure to believe that we're enough, that our systems, knowledge, people, and history are worthy of leading us forward. Yes, colonizers damaged us, but our leaders must stop outsourcing accountability. You cannot decolonize if you're still asking for permission. You cannot build sovereignty while begging for crumbs. So where do we go from here? We need a new generation of leadership. Bold, principled, and rooted in the land and the people. Leaders who see governance not as a path to enrichment, but as a sacred duty. We must reimagine our political and economic systems, reclaim our narratives, stop mimicking the West, and rebuild from our own soul, because no one is coming to save Africa, but we can save ourselves.